Well, it's not this day in New York history, which is what we normally do, but it's tomorrow, so we created an animation for that anyway. On this day tomorrow in 2015, Jacob deGrom gutted through his outing. Game 5 of the NLDS against the Dodgers. Looked like his start would end early. Instead, he gave the Mets 6 innings, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts in an elimination game, and you see him celebrating there. And even though deGrom is a different caliber of dominant today than he was then, the guy who can win despite not having his best stuff is still in there. Terry, what are your memories of that Game 5 performance in L.A.?
Well, you know, Doug, you mentioned it at the onset. He just gutted through it. You know, he was one of those guys. He's a different pitcher than he back then than he is today. But, you know, when that game started, he didn't have his best stuff, and yet he never gave in. He made pitches. He used his breaking ball, even though he didn't have very good command of it. He still threw it, and that told the hitters, "Hey, look, I'm still going to throw this thing. So you just can't sit and wait for a fastball." He gutted through a performance, and I remember during that game, Danny Wortham, my pitching coach, turned to me and he goes, "This kid is really going to be good one of these days," and he hit it right on the head.
Yeah, he sure did. So, Andy, for any Met fan watching who can't wait to see him on a mound again, and do you think that it would be safe for a new president of baseball operations to pencil him in as the ace and work around him, or do you insure against him going to 2022?
Okay, so Terry gets to relive the happy memory, and I have to deliver the bad news. That's fine. That's what I'm here for. No, I don't think you can assume that he's going to be okay next year. You can hope, but he just missed half a season. We don't have complete resolution publicly on what was going on with his elbow and with the ligament. He says it's fine. The Mets said it was not quite fine, but later fine. And there's still a lot of uncertainty there. And I know talking to Mets people, if they're being really candid, they'll admit that there's not a lot of security there. So what you want to do is go ahead and sign Max Scherzer. You have an owner with money. I mean, why not? Scherzer was not willing to come to the Mets with his no-trade clause last year, but money talks. That would be a nice insurance policy.
I don't disagree that it would behoove the Mets to have one. I just don't know that they're going to be able to. I think they have a lot of moves they need to make with this roster. I think they really need to turn over a lot of the core position players, pitchers, whatever it is. I think they have a lot of work ahead of them. I'm not sure that, you know, a second ace, if you will, is really going to be able to be on their to-do list. It might be on their wish list, and if they get to it, maybe, but I don't think it's something that they're going to be able to do. That doesn't mean that they may not go out and see what's out there, see what they could get these guys for, but I think it's going to be really hard for them to not bring back a very similar pitching staff to what they had last year. Now, they need depth, and I think they can do a good job in the free agent market, bringing in some guys for the back end or the middle of the rotation, whatever, maybe some more youth with some trades to try to bulk up on that side, but I'm not sure they can do it the other way.